What up, though, One Pride? This is the Roar of the Lions UK podcast, a podcast where One Pride goes worldwide. My name is Antony Fitzpatrick. I'm joined this evening by Ryan McCluskey, which can only mean one thing. It is time for your weekly dose of college knowledge. Yes, it is the college football podcast. No dog in the flight. Give you one guess as to what that is about. So we are a day later than usual. I was out yesterday, so we're a little later this week. Obviously, the Lions game is on later today, but we thought we'd sneak everything in today because, Ryan, it is championship game week. It doesn't seem a minute ago since we were chatting about week 0 now. The FCS playoffs are underway. Championship week is about to hit us, and we are about 3 days away from one of the most treasured pastimes in all of college football, which is ripping apart the obviously stupid choices by the playoff committee in a few days' time.
Oh yeah, and I think since the expansion or the real change from BCS to CFP to the expanded four teams, they have got the chance to really make some stupid decisions this year. It's kind of been pretty straightforward in recent years where there was one or two questionable picks, but this year, I mean, depending on what happens in one of the games on Saturday, chaos will ensue, and we could have an absolute plethora of receipts to keep and criticism to make. So yeah, it's gonna be absolutely fascinating. I would not want to be on the committee knowing I'm gonna have to pick the teams, and there will be no right answer. There's never a right answer.
Absolutely not. We will go through that later. We have a lot in store for you today. We have had a ton of movement in the head coaching ranks. We've had over about 12, 13 hires since we last talked to you all. We've had another firing as well. The FCS Playoffs, the first week happened. Ryan is going to go through that. I do have the FBS Playoffs here in regards to what can happen at the weekend and who it looks like is getting in. I've got my second part of my group of 5 player search for the next stars of tomorrow. And then, of course, we've got a whole week of football to talk about and the championship week to preview. So we got a lot of stuff to dive through today. So settle in for the next few hours as we get through all this and take your mind off the Lions-Cowboys game later, because we don't want to think about that just yet. A lot of big ramifications in that, and we want to put that to the back of our minds. So let's think happy thoughts. We're not going to go through all the regular housekeeping stuff. You know the drill. Like, subscribe, all that lovely stuff. We appreciate the hell out of you all. We're going to go dive right down into the news because there is a ton of stuff to go through. Quickly shouting out Mile Marker and Brent DeWitt, who I can both see in the chat there. Hope you guys are both doing well. As always, if you have anything to ask us as the night goes on, let us know. They're chatting about National Signing Day. We'll probably talk about Signing Day in a little bit because there was some interesting flips and commitments and bits like that, so we will get into that as well. But right, we've got a ton of head coaches, new teams, new starts. This is what the end of the season is about. You could have a really bad season and you could be down in the doldrums, but the new age of your team may dawn. A new head coach brings new possibilities. We've seen in recent years Kurt Signetti, Bob Chesney, guys like this have come in, revitalised franchises, and who is going to be the next one? Starting off with the Stanford Cardinal. They have their new head coach of the future, and they came to the NFL to get their guy, Tavita Pritchard, a former Cardinal quarterback, very famously quarterbacked their win over USC back in, I think it was 2007, when they were 42-point underdogs, one of the most famous victories in school history. This guy was able to preside over before he was eventually replaced by some guy called Andrew Luck, who apparently was pretty decent in his career. But they're going to the well, Ryan, going back to the proverbial having a guy. It's your alma mater. You've played your entire college career there. You have close ties. You've done some sterling work. Obviously, he's been the Washington Commanders quarterback coach. He has overseen the rise of Jaden Daniels in the league, and they're choosing to go down the path set out by another team, well, not in the general vicinity, but on that edge of the world. the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors 4 years ago, looking for a complete rebuild of their culture and trying to get a lot of bad taste out the mouth, took Timmy Chang, one of their famous quarterbacks, back there, and they have built quite a team on the back of that, and they have fixed the ship. And this seems to be the direction Stanford have gone. No fancy hire with Andrew Luck still been there, or nothing too glamorous. Going back to one of the old school alums who's done himself a very good job so far.
Yeah, probably one of the least surprising hires in the country this year. Andrew Luck, like say, knows this guy very well, and I mean, not many people know Stanford football. Like say, a data analyst, a running back coach, a quarterback coach, offensive coordinator, and QB coach. He spent like 12 years of his life on the program, whether he was playing or whether he was coaching. Like I said, and then he was rewarded in 2022 with that great position of Washington QB coach. Then he got to see the rise. Like I say, he's worked with guys like Marcus Mariota, and he got to see the rise of Jalen Daniels, just someone that's kind of takes some credit for where he's been as a rookie. Like I say, where he is now. Like I say, he's been his right hand man. But yeah, the pull, like I say, of the Cardinals and being offered the most prestigious position of head coach was just too much for him, I feel like. And now he's been in the league. He's been around, say, the big guys. He's learned a lot around, like I say, he's only 38. It makes sense for him to come back right now, like I say, take the helm with Luck doing a good job of steadying the ship on the board and trying to implement the staff he wants here. I like the fit. It's a pretty safe hire. Like I say, he's someone that everyone knows pretty well. The fans instantly will buy into him, like I say, because he's a guy that is very well respected in the community and the field. So yeah, like I say, and it feels like a long-term hire. It feels like he's probably always wanted this job. Like I say, he's gone away, done some good work, bided his time, and here he is back now. And yeah, hopefully it's for the long term.
Hopefully, indeed, maybe a new age for the Stanford Cardinal. We're doing these in chronological order, by the way, of when they were done, just so we can try and keep it there. Obviously, there are some much bigger ones in here, but we will go through it. And one of the more intriguing hires, right? It was a bit of an up and down week for the Arkansas Razorback fans. At one point last week, they thought they were getting Alex Golesh, the USF head coach, who was going to come in and dawn in a new era of Razorback football, until he didn't. And he went somewhere else, and Arkansas had to quickly pivot onto whether it was their backup guy, I don't know, but they've taken the plump on Ryan Silverfield, formerly of the Detroit Lions many years ago. He was an assistant offensive line coach here, I believe back at the start of the Quinn era in about 2017. But he's been Memphis's head coach now for the last 7 years. He sports a 50-25 record with them, although very famously he's not been able to win an American championship yet, and his record in bigger games against bigger teams is one that is a little bit to scrutiny. But I don't know, right? This is the wild card one. Not a huge record of success in terms of accolades and stuff, but he's turned that Memphis program obviously very healthy under Mike Norvell. He has carried on that tradition there. They've always been a competitive side, but he's going to an Arkansas side now, which is mired in the depth of the SEC. I think in terms of his previous work in the SEC, there's nothing there whatsoever, so this is going to be his first interaction with it. And of course, SEC fans famously don't like people who are not associated with conference, and a group of 5 head coaches as well. This is going to be a massive job for Ryan Silverfield, and it feels like a big gamble from the Arkansas top brass.
Yeah, see, the fans are upset, but basically every coach linked to this job was G5. If it wasn't Silverfield, it was Sumrall. If it wasn't Sumrall, it was Golesh. If it wasn't him, it was someone like Chesney. Like I said, there were not many Power 4 guys clamouring to take the Arkansas Razorbacks job. And that's not because it's a big job. It's because, like I said, there's a lot of baggage. There's real history here of, like I say, being bad. Like I said, this is an Arkansas team we saw this year play an American team, like I say, and had an absolute stinker. Like I said, so do you know what? I'm for this because I think this is humbling. I think maybe they need to go back to basics, tear it down, start again. You're not an SEC contender. you're not even competitive in SEC play. Like I say, you really are, like I say, in the quagmire down with like Kentucky. Like I say, you kind of just trying to find your feet here. So I kind of like the young up and comer. As you say, never won an American, but he took over a Memphis team. Like I say, despite like I say, he's been here a long time since on staff since 2016. Like I say, he's got NFL experience. Like I say, the Lions, Minnesota Vikings was there a couple of years. It says he's been at UCF, did spend a year at ASU, the Sun Devils. So this guy, he has been around the block. He's been up and down, like you say. So he's vastly experienced, despite, like you say, the record being middling, like I say. But yeah, I think I get the hire. It's not a flashy hire. They were never going to get the flashy hire. Like I said, they were never going to have enough, like I said, booster commitment, NIL, and recent wins to get that big names here. I hope the fans just give him a moment. Like I said, at least let him try to win you over. I know a lot of them have pretty much already written the guy off completely already. Like saying, yeah, it's only going to go one of two ways.
I never even thought about that. Memphis did beat Arkansas this year, so they've seen him up firsthand, and they were miles
It was
behind.
like 35-39. It was one of the best games that Memphis played all year.
But Memphis were like 20 points down at one point, so I didn't think they've actually obviously seen each other this year. They must have been impressed to the degree that they kept him in their minds just in case of.
I've got a feeling that game definitely backed decision, and he also got to see Taylor Green, but I say he's departing, hasn't he?
I think he's departing. Yeah, I think he's about done. He'll come to the draft sooner rather than later. So
yeah, so it'd be interesting to see. Like I say, he's not got a lot to work with.
No,
it's a pretty blank canvas.
No.
So yeah, he's gonna need a year or two to kind of find his feet, but the Razorback fans aren't going to give him that, are they? Let's be honest.
Probably not. No. The guy who was meant to go there initially, so I think we reported it last week when we were on. It was meant to be Alex Golesh who was going to Arkansas.
It felt like a done deal,
and they felt they were they thought it was going to be a done deal, and we kind of reported it as such. But he didn't go to Arkansas, but he did end up in the SEC, and this is the one hire that intrigues me more than anything. Alex Golesh has gone to the Auburn Tigers. Now, obviously, Golesh has built up a sorry-ass USF franchise from nothing to one of the contenders in the American. The job he's done there has been absolutely tremendous, and he's done it with not the biggest budget in the world. He's homegrown a lot of his own players there. Some probably going to follow him over here, but Auburn Rye is a team where you do get resources at your disposal. You can recruit 5-star players there. You can recruit game-changing talent. And it's kind of been a running joke for a while now that Auburn make terrible coaching hires, which you know are going to fail before they even get there. It's just the way always Auburn have done things, and they've just never hired the coach well. This feels like the first time when they've actually sat down, thought about this. They've probably seen other SEC teams in on him as well, and they've made a move to convince him to go there instead. I low-key really like this hire. It feels like if anyone's going to turn the Auburn program around and turn them back to relevance again, I know it's only his second head coaching job. I know it's his first time in the Power 5. I know it's first time in the SEC, all that sort of stuff, but I'm low-key looking forward to this. If he can bring some of his guys with him from USF, get a good talent injection there, I feel like this is a match made to work. Alex Golesh to Auburn.
Yeah, I think he should count himself very lucky, like I say, that he backed out of that Arkansas deal, because he has landed on his feet at Auburn. Like you say, you get Jackson Arnold, you get a talented running back that's young, you get Cam Coleman if you can convince him to stay, defensive talent across the board. I was super high on the Auburn Tigers this year. Did they let me down? Absolutely. Like I said, do I feel stupid for putting stock in them? Yep. Like I said, I don't learn my lesson. But it's of all the hires, like I say, it's the quickest turnaround. You can go from zero to hero very quickly in this job because the talent is there. It needs coaching. Like I say, it's one of those where you take a guy, like I say, that he's not had the means to work with, but he's managed to make the South Florida team very competitive. But a stellar year this year. He's managed to take players that were already there or were finding their feet when he arrived and elevate them to the top level. Like I say, guys like Byron Brown, that is now a household name. It wasn't a couple of years ago. So he's a very good people person, and he puts them in a program to win. Like I say, puts them in a scheme to get the best out of them. And yeah, I'm excited for this hire. I know the fans are. I've seen the fans absolutely hate this hire. Like I say, because they don't know a lot about Alex Golesh. They kind of just see, oh, he's American, he's a G5, this is the SEC, he can't do it. There's no reason he cannot match this season's win total and or not improve on it. Like I say, it just needs to. They just need to stay healthy,
and they need to give him time.
Yeah.
You know, don't expect this to be a year or two thing and they'll be up there. I think you've got to give it. Like, took 3 years with USF, 2, 4, and 4 years in the American. Then they had the big breakout this year when the talent was there. I think you've got to give him. You've got to at least invest 3 or 4 years in him for me here.
It sucks as well. Like I saw like some of the players like on their Instagram and private like stories like, who the F is this guy?
I'd kick them all.
That's a natural reaction.
I'd kick them all out of the program.
Jump in the portal.
I'd kick them all out the program and say, you know, it's a bit of a rotten culture. You are not good enough.
I say straight away. Fine then. Transfer portal's about to open.
You are not good enough to be complaining about the head coach you're getting. Your results have not been good enough. Your play has not been good enough. You don't get the right to criticise who's coming in the building.
He'll tell them straight away, like say, if you don't like me, I don't know who I am, like you say.
And I think it's no nonsense. He cleared out the show at USF when he got there. That was a team who'd won 1 conference game in 3 years. Like, he cleared them out there and brought his own guys in who bought into the program and bought into him. So I would expect him to do it again.
He wins 8, 9 games next year. There'll be a lot of people deleting tweets.
Auburn need to be made uncomfortable. The players there need to be made uncomfortable. You know, they need to be taken out of their comfort zone and standards need to be re-established there. And I like the fit. I think they've chosen an up-and-comer who's going up, who's not just been around the block and, you know, is just taking on another job in an endless cycle where they're mediocre. They've taken a home run. They've taken a hit now, and I hope it pays off. That's 2 G5 head coaches who are going to the SEC, but there's a third going as well, and this is one of the big ones. John Summerall, the Tulane head coach, long associated with a power vacancy, obviously did tremendous work with the Troy Trojans a few years back to back Sun Belt titles, built on one of the fiercest defenses ever seen in recent history, quite frankly. They were record setting. Goes over to Tulane, a big school program, has again not won the American while he's been there, I don't think. Or has he? No, he got in the title game last year, but he has translated that to Tulane. It's been a very good football team the last couple of years. It is challenging for the American this year, so he can walk away with a conference championship this time out. Off to Florida. And again, I like the fit. I know Florida fans feel this is beneath them, and, you know, again, you're not beneath anybody at the moment, Florida. You've not been good in recent years, but the one thing Florida's lacked, and we've said for a while, is its spine. You've had so many 5-star recruits on that defensive line. You've got a great quarterback there, which you've not been able to protect. Summerall specialises in trench warfare more than anything, and it feels like that hire, or that quality about him, might be the basis of this hire. If you can settle those Florida trenches down, the team around it can build into something potentially special. It's just that they've wasted a lot of talent on those trenches, and they've not equivalated it to NFL level talent, and Summerall's done that his entire career. Again, I like the thinking behind it. I like to think he will be given the opportunity to succeed there. Florida fans are scarred saying it's Napier 2.0, but I like the fit.
Yeah, I like the fit. Like I say, I'm with you. The Florida fans are only salty because Billy Napier's left such a bad taste in their mouth. It's not their frustration is not aimed at John Summerall. Like I say, it's aimed at Billy. Like I say, rightly so, his tenure didn't end well with him. But like I say, to just put all the G5 coaches in the same basket, like I say, it's demeaning. Like I say, the guy. Like I say, one of my favourite coaches in the whole cycle. I knew he'd get a Power 4 job. Like I say, because he's done tremendous work at Tulane. He has made them a household name. He's made them a team that Power 4 teams fear, because he has had them step up and play top level of competition and play with them incredibly well in recent years. So for me, like I say, and the Troy Trojans, like I say, he built a team on defence, and defence wins championships, and he proved that as a Trojan. Like I said, the Gators have got a plethora of talent on defense, but they're yet to make it work this year. And the biggest issue for me this year, like I say, is discipline. The Gators are such a bad disciplined team. Flags, ejections, like I say, fighting on the sideline. Like I said, they're a team, like I say, wholly, like I said, that are they're bad boy moniker. John Summerall will fix that very quickly. He is not going to put up with that BS. Like I say, he'll clean up the penalties. Like I say, he'll really get into them. Like I say, and he's going to hopefully make them a much more stronger team, as you say, on the spine. Like I say, for me, I hope he fixes their defense. Like I said, Lagway badly needs a new person around him. Like I said, 2 years of Billy. This year for me, big regression. Like I said, that he needed someone to come in, put an arm around him, help guide him. Like I say, and we saw, like I say, what Tulane happened with Darian Mensah. Like I say, he took a kid, like I say, good QB, made him a top level QB, big enough to, like I say, earn a massive NIL deal. So if anyone can help DJ Lagway, then I think it might be John Summerall. So yeah, I think this is another one where if it clicks straight away, like I say, the Gators fans instantly do a 180. Like I say, wins 9 wins next season. Like I say, and suddenly the Swamp will be a fearsome place to go again. Yeah, he deserves this more. Like I say, of all the G5 guys for such a big body of G5 work. And yeah, and he's also a modicum of class. Telling all the Tulane players, like I say, that committed me, don't decommit. Don't have to follow me to Florida. I want you to go to Tulane. Like I say, don't commit to a program for me. Like I say, and he's everything Lane Kiffin isn't. And that is how you leave a program. And I want nothing more than him to win the American and go to the playoffs. Even if they get blown out, like I say, to lead that team to the playoffs and then depart Florida, that would be the dream for him, I think.
And he recruits really well as well. Through the portal, you got Santana Hopper, Mo Westmoreland, and that this year for that Tulane team. The basis of why it's been so good. So, hopefully he'll be able to use the portal to similar effect to Florida. And again, maybe just kick some shoes around there. There's a lot of 5-stars, a lot of high-star recruit guys go there because it's Florida, but they just don't work out.
They need to lose their attitude, a lot of them.
You need a culture change there. Quite clearly, you need a culture change. So hopefully he'll be the one to bring it through. And it's not the end of the SEC madness. There are a lot of new SEC teams with head coaches, but the big one, Rye, the very big one, we wondered where he was going. Was it Florida? Was it LSU? We knew damn well that he wasn't going to stay loyal to the Ole Miss franchise, but Lane Kiffin finally, I believe on Sunday it was, made his decision about where his future lay. And of course, he's headed to the Bayou to be the new head coach of the LSU Tigers, a deal purported to be 7 years, $91 million, so he's on about $13 million a year now, and LSU have agreed to pay his bonuses for Ole Miss this year if Ole Miss get through, because Ole Miss still have to pay Lane if he meets his bonuses this year, even though he's not in the playoffs.
Title.
Yes, but Lane
How desperate are LSU? Like, come on, who negotiates that deal?
Lane has left, and this has not been left with the greatest of receptions, right? He was booed away at the airport. There was apparently confrontations on his way there. Then the big fallout came over that Juice Kiffin, his beloved dog, was not actually his. He's been using him basically as a circus PR stunt, hence the No Dog in the Flight name of this show, because they didn't take Juice with them. It's this perfectly crafted PR image of Lane. All of a sudden it's unraveling and we're hearing a lot of dirty secrets behind there. A lot of his former Ole Miss players in the NFL now reacted negatively to this. A lot of players on the team reacted negatively to this. Lane has been, let's just say, working with a lot of subterfuge around this. He's been planning this exit for what feels like some time now, and he's chosen to strike right before Ole Miss's playoff run now. The whole argument about whether it's the coach's fault or not because of how the season is scheduled is fine, but I don't think Lane Kiffin is a victim here. He is guilty as sin. He has abandoned his Ole Miss team right when they need him the most, and he tried to force his coaches to come with him, his players to decommit and come to LSU instead. You said about Summerall being a gentleman when it comes and not screwing his old team in the back. Lane Kiffin could not have been any more different in how he's handled his departure from Oxford.
Oh, Lane Kiffin loves it, doesn't he? He loves to be the bad boy of the SEC. I mean, it started at the game. Like I said, after the game, he finds that reporter Ben that called him a whore or like a football whore, and he squared up to him, didn't it? He went eyeball to eyeball with him, like I say, and said something. Like I say, and then like I say, the report, funny the podcaster shit himself. Like I say, wouldn't look him in the eye. But like I say, he was on a mission that day, and I think he knew at that point he was leaving. Like I say, he was making an impression on it. He was saying, "Yeah, you don't talk shit about me. Get away with it." Like I say, he loves the media. He loves the limelight. But like I say, it's not the fact he's left; it's the